Hello, everyone. I have another interesting article for you. The title of this article is Study Finds Another Possible Cause of Fatigue Felt by Many Menopausal Women by Kristen Rogers. This article is on CNN, and I will have a link in the description where you can click on this article if you're interested in reading more about this topic. So, here are some quick little tidbits from the article, okay? Um, the report in this article is from the journal Menopause. The study was done to evaluate the association between heavy and prolonged menstrual bleeding between premenopausal and perimenopausal women and their reports of fatigue or vitality. So pause for a quick second. Premenopausal, perimenopause. I've always used those kind of interchangeably, and I guess you can, but I had to kind of go off and do a little bit of research on this to see like why they did a research on premenopausal to perimenopausal. And for the purpose of this, perimenopause is considered transitional period to premenopause, and then premenopause is considered that period when you have your first cycle all the way up to perimenopause. Okay, so it's interesting, but I guess that's really a good way to look at it. And that actually makes sense. Um, so back to the article. Um, it says the authors of the study reviewed data of women enrolled in a study of women's health across the nation back in 1996 to 1997. And sometimes researchers do that. They'll go back and review like old data to get new information. Um, the women kept track of their gynecological, menstrual, and medical history for 10 years following the study. The women who experienced at least 3 episodes of heavy menstrual bleeding in the last 6 months were 62% more likely to be tired and 44% more likely to feel worn out. Also, they noticed a link that the women having 3 or more instances of prolonged bleeding had a 32% less odd of feeling full of PEMS per the article. Okay. So, per the study, having 3 or more episodes of prolonged menstrual bleeding or heavy menstrual bleeding within a 6 month period is associated with symptoms of fatigue. Keep in mind, though, the article does state that abnormal uterine bleeding should never go unevaluated because it may not be just an issue with anemia. It may be an early warning sign of cancer. Okay, so here's what I have to say about this. I've always been kind of iron deficient, so I've always felt tired, especially around my period. I'm super lethargic. Um, it's just one of those things. I just know it's due to my period when I feel so tired. I'm just like, oh, okay. So, but now I'm going through perimenopause, so I know that there's a lot of things that are linked to perimenopause and why I may be feeling a certain way. But sometimes I'm just not sure. Okay, because I've noticed since I've started perimenopause, um, that I've had whenever I do get a cycle, because I do tend to miss cycles like for months at a time and then it'll start back up. And once I do get a cycle, it'll be super heavy. It'll be very long. So the last cycle I had was like 2 weeks long, like no joke. And my bleeding was so heavy, I was like, I may have to go to the emergency room if this doesn't stop. It eventually stopped, but I did do some research and, found out that that was, one of those symptoms or effect of perimenopause. So I didn't immediately go to the emergency room, but I told myself if that happened again for a second time, then I will for sure go to the emergency room. But it hasn't happened since. But my periods do tend to be long and heavy still, like now that I'm in perimenopause than before. Um, and I do get more tired. Like be sitting on the couch and next thing I know, I'm just out. I'm tired. I'm asleep. So it's nice kind of to know that me feeling tired isn't just me Like, because sometimes I think it's linked to my like bad eating habits, and maybe it is, but sometimes I'm not eating bad. I'm eating really good and I'm still feeling super tired. So it's kind of nice to know that, hey, being super tired may be linked to this perimenopause. Um, that's what I have to say about this. It's nice to have this information. I know you have something to say too.